Hello Internet, I'm Josaway, and this is Blueprints, a new mystery puzzle game by Dogubomb and Raw Fury, I think. I don't know much about it except that it is a mystery puzzle game. It's extremely well reviewed. Seems like it's the kind of thing that's right up my alley, so we're going to start a new game and dive right in.
Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
All right, so we have a mystery to solve in order to acquire the fruits of our inheritance. Day 1. Simon Jones at the Sinclair Estate. Interesting graphic style here. It's a mix of very clean cell shading. All right. So, old man left us a manor, but demanded that we solve a mystery about it first. I had inverted, let's see, resume day 1, call it a day, room directory, game settings. I had inverted the look, but it seems like that's not what I actually want. Room directory, rooms 1 through 12. So we have the entrance hall here. Past the steps and beyond the grand doors, admission to Mount Holly is granted by way of a dark and garish lobby, suitably called the entrance hall. From here, each guest's adventure begins. However, the 3 doors that proceed onwards do not always lead to the same adjoining rooms. Type permanent and blueprint. Rarity non-applicable. Interesting. And then we have a whole grid of these rooms to look at. It seems we also have some information or diary entries here about the antechamber, whatever that is, and room 46, the mystery that we're searching for. From its root meaning the room before, all signs and paths point toward the antechamber. This mysterious sealed room, resting on the 9th rank, may prove, however, quite an initial challenge to even reach, let alone enter. Still, you can't help but draw a connection between this room and room 46. Type blueprint objective. Okay. The mysterious room mentioned in H.S. Sinclair's will, named only by a number. Despite the house's official blueprint only showing a total of 45 rooms, the words of the legal document make it apparent that a 46th room in the house in fact exists. Finding this room is your primary objective while on the estate. It is, after all, your bequest. Type blueprint objective, rarity rumored. All right, we don't have any bedrooms, hallways, green room, shops, or red rooms. So let's resume day one. Start looking around. I'm not quite sure what we can do here. Let's take a look. We've got some canes. I can strafe, move forwards and backwards. If we look at the controls here, system menu is escape, blueprint menu is tab, room directory is R, and shift is stroll. So I don't have access to some of that yet. I have the room directory and the system menu, but I don't have tab. And shift, I guess, makes us go a little bit faster, but not really enough. I'd like it if that was a toggle. All right, so we're here in the entrance hall, the receiving room, whatever you want to call it. Here we go. Here's something interesting. A picture of a hand holding an ace of spades. Here we have the queen of diamonds. It's held in a left hand with what looks like painted nails. Huh. That's held in a right hand. There's a letter. Obviously, we'll be looking at that. There's some sort of sign there. We've got this grandfather clock, some busts. Okay. So clearly it's one of these environmental games where I'm probably not going to meet very many NPCs. It's all going to be finding objects and secrets hidden in the world. Let's take a look at this, this document first. Open only in the event of my death. Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you, nothing could have been further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the success of the previous day. One final word of advice. Do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half-century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads. Abandon the path, and go where you want it to lead. With all my love and wishes, best of luck, Herbert S. Sinclair. Okay. You found the Mount Holly blueprint. This will serve as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure. You may access the blueprint menu by pressing tab. Interesting. So it seems like it's got a little bit of a roguelike structure to it, where each day the structure changes around. So we're on day one. We have this list of steps. Steps represent how much energy you have left for exploring. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one step. When you no longer have any steps left, you must call it a day. Okay, so we can make 50 transitions, which means we have to be a little bit careful about going through doors, which is a problem for me, except this blueprint will probably help, because I tend to lose track of spatial orientation. But each time we transition to another room, we lose a resource. So I can't go back and forth and like check things out that way. I'm not sure what this box is. We have the antechamber here and the entrance hall. Presumably, yes, this links to the directory. Okay. Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one step. When you no longer have any steps left, you will be too tired to continue. Right, alright, that seems fine. So we want to do an exhaustive search of each room, find any clues we can, and try to remember them before we leave a given room and move on to the next one. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can interact with here in the entrance hall. Now, this door, not sure where it will go, but there's nothing really indicative about it. This door has the spade symbol on it that we have seen over here, right? I don't think I have like a zoom. It's like a shield with two curlicues. Yeah, those look the same. Well, not quite identical, but similar. So I think that's the Mount Holly estate symbol. Possibly it's like the coat of arms for the estate, for the Sinclair family or for the estate. And then this door over here obviously has these clues or paintings. I don't know if they're relevant or not, but we've got an ace of spades and a queen of diamonds. I feel like going through this door first just because we have something to work with. So since this is going to cost a step, I guess this is the first step I'm going to spend. Ace of spades, queen of diamonds. Let's go. Select a room to draft. Bedroom. Whenever you enter this room, gain 2 steps. Closet, 2 items. Hallway. This is interesting. Now, what do I do here? Items seem good, but I don't have any context for whether they're good or not. Also, there's the fact that we have those portraits of the playing cards. So it feels like we should use this on a boring door, right? I'm not sure whether we want to use the bedroom or the hallway. I don't think we need to gain steps right now. We're at full steps. We might not even be able to go higher than 50. I'm not sure. Let's go for a hallway here. Let's see what this gets us. Hallway rank 1. All right. One of the many nondescript hallways snaking through the estate and providing elegant causeways between the more noteworthy destinations that the house has to offer. Type hallway, rarity commonplace, drafted 1 time. Interesting. Okay, so there's 2 doors exiting from the hallway, but we have some exploration to do. Let's take a look at this. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. Now, given the spatial strangeness that's been described to us, I'm not sure how we identify or locate the west wing. But okay. So now, if I go back through this, I do lose a step. I lost a step. I went down to 48, and it's going to take me to 47. Okay, so that was a waste of 2 steps, but I needed to verify how the system worked. Crossing a threshold costs a step regardless of whether the door is open or not. Good to know. All right, so we had the ace of spades and the queen of diamonds. Now we have some other interesting iconography here. An open pin and a mountain fir. An open safety pin and a mountain fir. If we take a look at the blueprint here, this square here seems like it would be closed off. So maybe we'll put a closet here and see what items are about if we get that choice. Oh, we have different stuff here. Okay. I don't know what to choose. Guest room plus 10 could be good. Parlor, there's something here that looks like a puzzle piece. Lavatory, I'm not sure what that would be about. Of these choices, I'm leaning more towards the guest room or the parlor. We're still fairly high on steps, and it seems there are ways to get more that we've seen. I don't know how rare the guest bedroom would be, but the parlor having a puzzle piece in it makes me feel like this is interesting. There's a clue here or something. Let's put a parlor down. Yes, okay. So, this cozy lounge, furnished with couches and armchairs, serves as the perfect social setting for receptions and after-parties. Consequently, this was one of the most popular rooms for entertaining, and the late H.S. Sinclair was known to supply a myriad of parlor games to encourage his guests to think and conversate. So it's a puzzle room. It's also a blueprint. Rarity commonplace, drafted 1 time. Okay. Let's take a look around. So we've got a divan with some pillows on it. We can see the border of the estate and out into the world beyond. We have a portrait here of old Herbert, but can't interact with it, nor with this desk or whatever. We've got 3 boxes, a door, and then some icons here. These may hint at what a door can draft. I'm not sure. We've seen a lot of this so far, but haven't had much to go on in terms of interpreting it. But obviously we have a buck deer, and then a tag, like a... I don't want to call it a dog tag, but like a tag on a loop for a necklace to be worn, like an ID tag or something with the number 10 on it. Okay. You found a rather curious wind-up key, a component of the parlor game. Now, does that go into my inventory? It does, the wind-up key. Okay. And then there's a letter here. Let's look at this. This is a letter to Herbert from someone named M. Lowry. Dear Herbert, it was a great honor receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, it had been quite a while since we had been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlor game I had played some years back involving 3 boxes of different colors. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests should you be inclined to play this confounding game. Always your friend, M. Lowry. All right. There will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within, the other 2 are always empty. Okay. So we have 3 boxes, blue, white, and black. Okay, it's a logic puzzle. All right. So blue says, the statement on the white box is true. So, okay. There is a second wind-up key in this room. And this box and the white box are both empty. All right, so first of all, let's take a look around and see if we can find another wind-up key anywhere. That would give us a hint, because we would know whether white was telling the truth or a lie. I don't have a crouch button, I don't think. Yeah. No, I don't. I've already examined the room fairly exhaustively, unless I can go... I guess I can go behind some of this stuff. I can squeeze in a little bit. We can look for the second key. I suspect there isn't one, but it could be well hidden, because I don't have the ability to jump. I don't have the ability to crouch. I'm very limited in what I can do in terms of picking up another object. So unless the key is inside the box, which doesn't seem like it would make sense to me, I think we can operate from the presumption that the white box is telling a lie, right? Hey, D2Ta, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you again. This is an interesting puzzle/mystery game. Just to bring you up to speed, I am Simon P. Jones, the great-grandnephew of this man, Herbert Sinclair, who has betrothed to me his magic mansion, which changes the layout of its rooms every day, on the condition that I find the magical 46th room. It's a 45-room mansion, but we have to find the 46th room. So I've navigated a few rooms so far, and now we have this puzzle box. So here are the rules. Let's go over the rules one more time. There will always be at least one box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. Only one box has a prize within, the other 2 are always empty, and I have a wind-up key. So the white box says there is a second wind-up key in this room. To me, that feels like a lie, which means one of these other 2 boxes has to be telling the truth. This box, the blue box, says the statement on the white box is true, which would be a second lie. So if both of these are lie boxes, that would make the black box true. The black box says this box and the white box are both empty. If that's true, that means the prize would be here in the blue box. Let's try it. Let's see. All right. Solved our first puzzle. Okay, so I have 2 gems. Gems can be used while drafting to pay for special floor plans. Okay. Keys can be used to unlock doors you find in the house. Coins can be used in shop rooms found on the estate to purchase goods and services. Okay. So the other resource I have is steps. Steps represent how much energy you have left for exploring. Each time you enter a room, you'll lose 1 step. So every time I cross a doorway, I lose a step, which means I don't want to really go back into the hallway yet because there's a door here that I haven't drafted a room for. Now, I'm still very early in the playthrough. I'm only 20 minutes in, so I'm still learning how the system works. But we do have these 2 portraits here of a buck antler and a tag with a number 10 on it next to the door. I don't know if that has any impact on it at all. But if I go to open this door, I'll be prompted to draft a room. So I have no money. It might be worth it entering the chapel just to see if I can go into negative money or if I can even enter it with nothing. But maybe we'll hold off on this. I don't need a lavatory, but the bedroom has a door. I don't know why I would want a lavatory. The bedroom has a second door, it looks like, and whenever you enter this room, gain 2 steps. So let's make our first bedroom here. So I gained 2 steps, and then we'll take a look at the description here. A familiar room that you may have slept in at some prior visit in the past. Like most bedrooms of the estate, these quarters offer you a little rest and recuperation during your long days exploring the surrounding rooms. Type is entry. I don't know what entry means. And then bedroom, commonplace, drafted 1 time. Okay. And then as I make the rooms over the course of a day, this blueprint fills in. So I started the day in the entrance hall. I made this hallway in the parlor where we solved the puzzle, and then you just watched me make the bedroom here. So let's take a look around and see what we can find. That's interesting. A statue of a finger pointing down. A top hat that I can't pick up. A picture of an automobile. What else have we got? Okay. A display case with some things in it. I can't open that. Bookcase. Some sort of like Jenga-style puzzle cube. What else have we got? There may not be anything in here other than the benefit that you get from the 2 extra steps from entering. Here we go. Here's something. What is this? Bedroom rank 2. All right. So there's a picture of a woman here, and she does have this interesting crescent moon-shaped locket, which may be relevant. I'm not sure what else to make of this. I can't, like, rotate it to look around the back. I can't manipulate it. I can just look at it. I don't know who this is, but okay. Might be my mother. And then what do we have over here? Greetings from Reddington. All right, so Reddington is the land or the town or something where this Mount Holly estate is located. Greetings from Reddington. Not sure what to use that for either. Got a origami swan in there. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be much else in the bedroom proper. So we get the benefit of the 2 steps, but it seems like that's about it. Probably lore? Yeah, probably. All right, let's make another room. Okay, so I think we can't go to the right, I don't believe. Looks like we gain 4 coins if we go in the pantry. We gain a key, a gem, and a coin if we go into the storeroom. We gain 1 gem if we go into the den. Actually, this would be interesting. Oh, it'll actually show you how the curve is going to work. Now, interestingly enough, this doesn't connect to that hallway. So what would happen if I went back and made a room? Would this door disappear? If I make the den, I get 1 more door. And then it connects back to the hallway as well. Interesting. I wonder what happens to that door if I put the pantry here. I think I like the idea of the connections. So let's do the den for now. And see what this is like. A more traditional family room, warm and inviting. So comfortable one might assume that the countless clocks surrounding the sofas are placed in a futile attempt to avoid inevitably wasting the entire day here. Commonplace blueprint, drafted one time. Okay. Let's take a look around. Yeah, it mentioned all the clocks. Painting of a bathtub. Interesting textured stone wall. What else have we got going on here? There's my gem that I get for coming in here. All right. Lots of clocks. A pair of swans that I can't interact with. Nothing I can do with the fire. Grandfather clock. Yeah, not much else in here. A bat hovering over a forest. And then this large, extremely large clock thing. So we could go back into the hallway, but that's a waste of a step. I don't see anything else I can do in here. Got a candlestick and a candle, but again, I can't pick them up or interact with them. All right, I guess we'll just go on to the next room here. Let's see what we can make here. Spare room, guest bedroom. The chapel would connect back to the entrance hall, which would be good. I'm very curious what happens when there's a door from one side and a wall on the other. This is like a dead end, too. So we get 10 steps, but then we have to backtrack. Have you checked the entire hallway already? I went through the hallway one direction, and this den that I'm in now didn't exist yet. But I looked in the hallway. There was nothing there. I am curious to see what happens if I block the doorway. Let's try the spare room and see what happens. So from the other side, there's a door on the other side of this wall that I apparently can't really get into. Okay. So I mean, it's exactly what it said on the tin. It's a spare room. An unfurnished, unfinished, and otherwise unremarkable empty room. If there had at some point been plans for this spare room, it would seem these designs are now long forgotten. Okay. So somebody started painting, they left the ladder behind. That looks like something I should be able to pick up, but I can't. It's like a packing tape gun or dispenser. Yeah, there's literally nothing in here. All right, well, this was kind of a waste. All right. Let's make another room. All right, so the pantry would let us angle up. If I made the corridor, I have to backtrack quite a bit. So I think we'll go for the pantry. We'll get 4 gold here. Corridor is always left unlocked. All right. Closet has 2 items. Let's try the pantry. A well-stocked pantry is always the true test of a large estate, and keeping Mount Holly's wide gamut of ingredients and supplies stocked has always been one of the primary priorities of the house staff. All right. It's a little bit claustrophobic, given that I can't climb the ladder. Given that as you place rooms, you start closing yourself out of pathways. Let's see what this says. Bridget, please pick up some more fruit before Friday, as we've just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. Huh. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. All right, if you say so. That's 4 coins. And an apple. Oh, I ate the apple and gained 2 steps. Okay. Huh. If an apple's worth 2 steps, then 5 apples is worth 10 steps? If the other fruit is the same, then 4 gold coins should be worth 30 steps, I guess? I'm not 100% on that. We haven't even really gotten into the meat of the game yet. I mean, we're just basically learning. This is like the tutorial, I think. All right. So I think we have to go for the chapel here for the doorways. Oh, this has a gem requirement. One, I don't even know what to call that. 1 gleam each time you've drafted observatory. I think we have to go for the chapel here. We'll lose a coin. It'll give us the ability to make rooms to the left and right, which will let us fill in this area to some degree. And then we would be burning steps to get back out, but yeah, I'm curious to see what this does, since we have some coins now. Okay, so we paid our tithe of 1 gold coin. Oh no, this is interesting. There's a lot of iconography here. Let's take a look at the pews, the chapel pews, and see if there's anything worth picking up. Any books or notes? No, doesn't look like it. All right, we've got 2 doorways. One to the left and one to the right. And we have the altar itself. Lots and lots of candles, but we have no matches. More candles over here. And a chess bishop, which is kind of interesting. And then a goblet on a book that we can't read. Okay. So let's take a look at the icons here. So 1, we have... Now, it looks like an angel because there's definitely wings there. She's holding a staff. Is that a staff or a crook? It might be... It looks like it's got a... Yeah, it looks like a crook. So maybe a shepherd? An angelic shepherd? Where's number 2? That looks like a baking paddle, and she's wearing a little chef hat, so maybe 2 is baker. She's got like a... What do you call it? What do you call the thing that... the pitchfork. She's got a pitchfork. So she's a farmer. Where's number 4? Over here? A chimney sweep, I think? Where's number 5? 5 looks like a maid. Yeah, that's a maid outfit with a broom. Number 6, we've got like a jockey or a horseman of some sort. That's definitely a riding crop. The rider. That's 6. And then 7 up there is like the warrior, the knight, or the king. Huh. I might need to... I don't know if there's a way to take notes. I might need to take notes outside of the game. So it's shepherd, baker, farmer. Hang on. I'm just gonna write this down outside the game. Shepherd, baker, farmer. And then where's 4? Right, chimney sweep, maid, rider. Chimney sweep, maid, rider, or jockey. That's 6. And then 7's the last one, right? King or knight? I'm not sure when or if that will come into play, but all right. So that's about all I can get from this room. So I think I want to curve left here if I can and fill in some of these spots. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily need to use every single spot, but I feel like I shouldn't waste them anyway. All right, let's take a look. So we want something that's going to give us a way down. It looks like the drawing room is the only way to do it. Lavatory and closet both block us out of 3 blocks. So let's go for the drawing room. You may draw new floor plans while drafting in this room. Gem requirement of 1. We have 3. All right. Let's see how this goes. A social sitting room adorned wall to wall with artwork and drawings. An unfinished sketch of your uncle sits on an easel in the middle of the room, providing a vivid image of what were presumably his final days, depending on when the project was abandoned. It's a drafting room, as well as a blueprint. Costs a gem, commonplace, drafted 1 time. All right, let's take a look around. Lots and lots of images here. Lots of pictures. People and animals, it seems, are the main... Now, yeah, these could be numbers, like there's 3 of that guy there. I don't know. There's definitely a possibility for this to be some sort of clue or puzzle. Let's take a look. What do we have here? Drawing floor plans. Each time you click on a door, you will draw 3 floor plans, from which you must select 1 to draft. However, there are some items in rooms that will allow you to redraw if you do not like your initial 3 options. Okay. It said something about that. You may draw new floor plans while drafting in this room. Okay, so whenever I'm in this room, I can basically redraw maybe unlimited times or maybe just once every time I go to a door. All right. So here's the unfinished portrait. The shadow's a little weird. So are the proportions of his body. His head looks too big. It's an interesting style. He's seated in front of, yeah, he's seated right on that chair, it looks like. He was seated right here when the artist was sketching. I think. Yeah, it looks about right. Now look at that, look at that. Look at that right there. See how the little piece of that candelabra is tilted to the left? Yeah. Okay. What did that do? Observant, aren't I? That's cool. Okay. Really, really nice. So we'll check out the wall safe in a minute. I probably have no idea how to open it or what the combination would be. But I do like that I took a second to really look at this rather than just glance at it and saw that. The leg looks kind of off too. Yeah, the legs do look strange, don't they? I think maybe the artist is just a crummy drawer though. Okay. So I'm really not sure how we're going to open this safe, but we'll give it a shot. We'll take a look at it. There's just a bunch of numbers. So on this wall, there's only 1 painting that has more than a single individual in it. And that's the number 3. On this wall, there's 2 of those 3s. So that could be 6 or 2, 3. On this wall, there's only 3. So maybe 3, 6, 3 or some other version of... Maybe we include all the matching paintings as well. All right, let's start with something simple. If we look at this wall, it's 3, maybe 6 here, and then 3 there. Let's try 3, 6, 3 first. Okay, that did nothing. So if we consider that maybe this is a clue, that we need to count the number of men holding a closed umbrella on the left side of the body, then this number becomes 3 plus that one over there would make 4. I'm not as sure here. But if that's 4... Then there would be 4 of him. And 3 of him. That might make 7. So 4, 7. And then 3 again. There's nothing. There's nobody else facing to the left. So 4, 7, 3. Okay, that didn't do it. Was there another one? Oh yeah, up there. So that would be 5, 7, 3 then. 5, 7, 3 perhaps. No, that doesn't do it. We don't really have enough context. Oh, you know what? There is a 4th wall, isn't there? It's just that guy. By himself. So, how would you choose which number to put in first? What other information do we have? 1 o'clock. I think that... Yeah, that minute hand is actually moving. We did move this thing to get everything kicked off, so maybe this is the first number? So like 1, 5, 7, 3? 1, 5, 7, 3. Enter. No. What if this is another clue? What if it's the number of men on each wall that are in this exact shape? Because the fact that we moved this to expose the safe makes me think this is the start. So then if it's this guy, we have 1. Now he's facing left, but I don't know if that matters. There he is up there facing left. 1. There's a second one. So it would be 1, 2 of that dude. 0. And then 1. 1, 2, 0, 1 perhaps. No, that didn't work. Maybe it doesn't matter if he's facing left or right. Maybe it's just that man. So then 1, 2, 3. So 1, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4, 3. I'm a little stumped here. It feels like that should be something important, the fact that that's so big. What about the size of things? I mean, there's nothing really on this wall that stands out other than the middle thing. I guess if he's the most unique thing on this wall, then that just means the first digit would be 1. And then we have the triple. There's no other triples on this wall. So the number of people making that shape is the 3 there plus that one and that one. That would be 5. So 1, 5. And then over here, I don't know what we would consider. You know what? Hold on. He doesn't have a mirror, right? He's alone. He doesn't have a mirror. So over here, that's a mirror of that. The lady's mirrored. The horse is mirrored. Umbrella down guy is not mirrored. And then whatever, like little boy throwing a ball or whatever does not appear to be mirrored either. So let's exclude all the mirrored peoples. All right, so woman is mirrored. We ignore that. Pitcher is not mirrored, so that's 2. Umbrella down guy is not mirrored, so 2 plus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then horse is mirrored. An umbrella walking guy is mirrored. I don't know about these either. They're not on the wall though. I didn't notice these before, but there's 2 more things here. So it'd be 1, 7, or maybe 9 if we include these. What about over here? Yeah, see, the horse is mirrored and the pitcher is mirrored. But walking guy is not. Umbrella down guy is not. And woman is not. Maybe only count the ones that are facing the same direction. Yeah. So 1, 7, and then this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 7, 8. Then umbrella down guy is mirrored because we got that and these. Walking guy is mirrored. We see those 2. We got pitcher by himself, horse, and woman. So that makes 3. So that's 1, 7, or 9. I think I counted 8 here. Yeah. 1, 7, 8. And then 3, right? Pitcher, horse, and woman. 1, 7, 8, 3, or 1, 9, 8, 3. Okay, that didn't do it. That didn't do it either. Man. Any thoughts, D2Ta? Any ideas? I mean, it's gotta be something. Any more clues in here? Anything I missed? This thing isn't in the sketch, but I think that's just a perspective. Yeah, the legs are weird on the sketch. That's true. What do we do here? Maybe only count the ones that are facing the same direction. There is this line underneath here, pointing both ways, and we see that under this guy as well. So maybe it's only, maybe we only count the number of portraits that have that line. But they all have a line, don't they? Yeah, they're all reversible. They're all reversible. Think you should move on and come back later? Fair enough, fair enough. It's gonna bother me that I couldn't figure it out, but okay, you're right. Let's move along. So I want to go, yeah, I want to go the way I'm facing. Let me just verify. Yes, okay. I want to go through this door here. And we have the redraw ability now. So we'd like to fill in these 3 rooms before we have to backtrack. That's our goal. So we'd like at least a room that has another door on the far side. Let's see what let's see what we get here. All right, so the Nook would lock us out. The corridor would work. Interesting that it says corridors always left unlocked, as if rooms can become locked behind us. For 2 gems, we can build a veranda. Greater chance of fighting items in green rooms. Or I can redraw my floor plans here. I mean, I have these 2 gems. I can try redrawing later. Let's try this veranda. Now, probably you can only build this at the edge. It's kind of cool, though, that we can actually see out onto the grounds. This relaxing breezeway serves as an ideal spot for rocking chairs and lemonade. Type green room, rarity unusual. Okay. So we have a better chance of finding items. What is this? You found a functioning metal detector. Greater chance of finding keys and coins. Okay, cool. That's our first real item, I guess. So I guess that makes us more likely to draw the rooms that contain them, or more likely to find them inside them, I guess? I'm not 100% sure. Doesn't seem to be anything else on the veranda here, so let's move along. Ideally, we would unlock this, but if we can't, so be it. All right, so we got a lavatory that would block us, a storeroom that would block us. The office would let us get all the way back through here. Opportunity to earn and spread coins, but I don't have the gems for it. So I can't build this. All right, so we're locked out regardless. I have not yet built either a lavatory or a storeroom. I'm not sure why I would build a lavatory. I like the idea of getting resources from the storeroom. Eventually we'll build this and see what it does, but let's build the storeroom first. Oh, metal detector's going off. Okay, so it tells me when there's something to find. There should be a coin, right? And it's got like a warmer, hotter, colder thing. There we go. All right. A dedicated storage space filled from end to end with a surplus of chairs, carpets, paintings, and a handful of other things that had one time been in vogue and on display elsewhere in the house. Type blueprint dead end. I think that's the first time I've seen that term, dead end. There's a flan with a spoon. I don't know what that is. Maybe like part of a fabric ruffled, like a ruffled fabric of like a dress, like a really foldy dress or something. Not sure what that is. Okay, well, we got our resources, but there doesn't seem to be anything else in here, so we're gonna have to spend steps to backtrack now. Where do I actually want to go? I guess I have to go back to the drawing room, and then either... I don't want to go into the chapel because I'll lose a coin, so we'll go back to the drawing room and make another room. Wonder if you can expand downwards. I don't think so. I doubt it. All right, let's see what's beyond here. All right, so guest room we don't want because it blocks us. Although I would like the steps. Courtyard we can't afford, and nursery we can't afford. Let's try redrawing. So I can only do that once. All right. Walk-in closet is a dead end. Ordinary closet is a dead end. Corridor is the only thing that we can't. I guess I could make the walk-in closet and get my 4 items, but then we have to backtrack again. Let's try a corridor for now. There's that Queen of Diamonds again. Maybe that wasn't as significant as I assumed. Can't pick up the hat or do anything. All right. Let's see what we draw here. Okay, we could go for the nook. To get into the interior here. I guess we kind of have to. We should gain a key here. A snug corner reading room, which serves as a quiet, private place for guests to spend a few hours of their afternoon away from the hustle and bustle of the staff. Okay. Well, we have plenty of keys now. The reading nook, we can't actually get to any of the books or get inside that area. What is this? A journey noteworthy. As you continue on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. A pad, scrap of paper, or perhaps most befittingly, a journal will prove to be an invaluable tool you will not regret having beside you on your journey. Okay. Well, I have a notepad entry, so that's, I guess, what I'm using. All right, we need to keep spending steps here to keep moving. This door is locked. All right, let's use a key. All right, what can we make here? A boudoir, which has one exit heading north towards the antechamber. A utility closet, which has a breaker box. A courtyard. I think we want the courtyard here. 2 exits, right? It's going to cost my last gem, but such is life. Let's build it. Okay, there's something here. The metal detector's telling me. A charming spot, granting guests a bit of fresh air and open skies within the privacy of the manor walls. It's a green room. I'm more likely to find items. I guess it's telling me about the shovel. You found an old weathered shovel. Looks like it could be useful for digging. You found an unremarkable rock, not worth picking up. Okay, you know what? I feel like I have seen some of these dirt patches before. So now that I have the shovel, you dug up nothing of interest was buried here. Okay. Oh, there's a hammer too, a sledgehammer. Can shatter padlocks on locked trunks. Okay. All right. Picking up items. Very interesting idea. It's like a mystery roguelike, right? Because the layout changes every time you come back. You get a different set of items and perks and whatever. Very cool. All right, let's head this way. This can be a dead end, I think, if it has to be, because we can progress further from this door. So let's see. What do we get? A lavatory. Dining room. Each day a meal is served in the dining room after rank 8 has been reached. Great hall. 7 locked doors. I do have a key. But this would... I don't know how that would work. Dining room gives us another option. Lavatory's a dead end. I think the rank has to do with how many rooms I've built, maybe? So I don't think it's time to build this yet. And I don't have a lot of keys, so I think we'll take the opportunity here to build the lavatory. Let's see what this is. A room one might go to great lengths to avoid showing guests, despite them always probing for its location. Type red room, dead end. Okay. Anything of value? I can't flush the toilet, which seems like an oversight. Can't wash my hands or take the soap. Can't open the cabinets and rifle through whatever medicines might be in there. All right. I don't know why you would ever build this. I guess it's a red room, so technically you can find an item in it. Or, well, I don't know what red rooms are yet. There might be a reason for building this at some point. But from what I can tell, I just wasted a step. So, all right. Let's try this door. We'll use our last key here. What do we want to build? So boudoir is really our only choice here because I don't have gems. So I guess we're going for a boudoir. A private salon with a plethora of fainting couches and chaise lounges that served both as a dressing room for her ladyship in the mornings and a cozy sitting room for her in the evenings. Type bedroom, rarity standard. Okay. Metal detector's not going off, so there's no keys or coins in here. Haven't seen a lot of puzzles yet. What's this? Oh, interesting. So at some point they did a big Christmas thing. Lots of gifts. A little Santa hat on some sort of dummy here. Some sort of dressmaking dummy. And then Looks like a giant safe here in this room. Behind this dressing screen, there's like a big gift with a number pad on it and like a spoke wheel to open. That's like a giant safe. Huh. Got the shoes on the ground, the phonograph. Yeah, there's nothing else I can interact with, really. All right, let's keep pressing forward. Ah, that door's locked and I can't open it, which means we have to start our backtracking, which is going to eat through our steps very quickly here. So where can I actually go? I can go back to the chapel. I lose a coin, but I can get into this square from there. That's my only path forward, I believe. Everything else is locked. I could go all the way back to the entrance hall and make something dead-endy here. But it looks like I need to go to the courtyard, to the nook, to the corridor, to the drawing room, to the chapel. It's going to eat through a lot of steps here. Okay, so we're back to the drawing room and back into the chapel. We'll lose a coin here, unfortunately, but it does get us another door to work with. Let's see. So, yeah, I'm kind of screwed here. Food for sale in the kitchen. I can't build this because I don't have a gem. Yeah, I'm screwed here. So, what makes more sense? More steps or 2 items? Steps aren't going to help me. I'm basically locked out of continuing for the rest of the day. I have to give up and start over again. So I can at least see what these 2 items are. Let's see what we get. A single ivory die. While drafting, you may use dice to roll new floor plans. Okay. There's supposed to be 2 items in here. An electronic key card opens electronically powered security doors. All right. A very modest recessed space used for storage. This particular closet is favored by the junior members of the staff, who utilize it to stash away assorted articles and knickknacks whose proper place in the estate is yet unknown to them. Okay. Unfortunately, we did not find anything to use the sledgehammer on. And unless I'm mistaken, yeah, there's nowhere I can build out anymore except for this square right here from the entrance hall. And then I'm curious to know whether the game tells me if I'm locked. I think it will, because at a certain point I can no longer build anything. So we didn't get to the antechamber. I didn't use all my steps. We learned a lot about the game, but all right, let's get this last thing built and see what it does. A utility closet, a bunk room counts as 2 bedrooms. We did see there was a benefit for building bedrooms. If you build a guest bedroom, it comes with 10 steps, but ordinary bedrooms, you have to build something else first. Utility closet's another dead end. Conference room. Whenever items would be spread throughout the house, they are placed in this room instead. Now, okay. This is interesting. Let's start with the breaker box, the utility closet, and find out what this does. One benefit of the restoration of old buildings is that it allows the owner to update and add modern amenities. The utility closet and the circuit breaker box within were set up when gas-powered lighting was retired and replaced by a more fashionable home electrical system, type mechanical, blueprint, and dead end. Okay. So there is a coin here that we can take. Got some paintings. A breaker box. Keycard entry system. VAC indicators. I don't know what that does. Gymnasium is on. Dark room is on. Turn the garage on, I guess. And then what does this say? Cabinet? There's no switch. Huh. Oh, this says on and that says off. I don't know what vac indicators are. Also, I can't really read this. Danger. Tooling of breaker switches may result in unexpected... Toggling of breaker switches may result in unexpected loss of floor plan functionality. Please call DC Power if you require assistance. Huh. Let's toggle them on and off. I don't know what vac indicators are. What happens now? Oh, now this is interesting. Yeah, this is blocked off. Okay. That's what I... So it doesn't tell us that we can't do anything else. But there's nowhere else that we can actually build. There's no doors left. Except in the courtyard where I don't have a key that I need, I think. This was locked and I didn't have a... Yeah. So I think we're done here. I don't think I can go any further. I could go back to the drawing room and try and solve the puzzle. But that's really all I could do here with the steps I have left. Maybe just to give it one more shot, go back and see if anything sparks for us. On the bottom right? No, there's no doors on the bottom right. I can't build out of there. I can't build there. Can't build there. Can't build there. I could build here if I had a key to open this door, but this door was locked. So this is the only door left in the entire floor plan, and I can't open it. Plus, I don't think there's a way for me to get another key. So the only thing I could do other than call it a day here, all the way to the right? I'm not sure what you mean. Huh. Yeah. So again, other than trying to solve this puzzle, which I don't know what to do here, seems like this has to be a clue. So this guy's facing left. Maybe it's just this guy. Is this guy... Did we already try that? And maybe we could try regardless of which way he's facing. So like there's 2 of him here. That's 3. And then over here we've got 4. So 1, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. I think we already did this, right? 1, 3, 4, 3. I think I already did 1, 3, 4, 3, but we'll try it one more time. 1, 3, 4, 3. Enter. That did nothing. So if it's just when he's facing left, then it's 1, 2, 0, 1, which I think we also tried. Yeah, that doesn't do it. What would you be? What do you mean? Maybe it's he's holding a cane, he's moving left. Maybe it's everybody moving left. So if it's everybody facing left, then it's 1 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that'd be 1, 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 9, 5. And then 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 9, 5, 6. No, that didn't do it either. Make sure I got those numbers right. So everybody facing left. It's 1. And then we've got that guy up there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 9. And then who's facing left over here? The horse, the little boy, and the 3 guys. So 1, 9, 5. We had that right. And who's facing left over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I already tried this, but it's 1, 9, 5, 6, right? It could be in a different order, I guess. 1, 9, 5, 6. But it feels like this guy has to be first. So I think we're done for the day. Let's call it a day. And wrap things up. And we'll come back and try again another time. Are you sure you want to call it a day? Tomorrow you will awake to find the rooms of the estate as well as your current inventory will have been reset. We'll call it. Interesting. So it gives us like an overview. It gives us a summary of what we did. Mount Holly became a charming cottage instead of a grand mansion. We built a total of 19 rooms. We reached rank 5. We took 40 steps and found 5 items, and this was our blueprint. We did not reach the antechamber. So now we get to day 2, and everything is reset. We start again with no inventory, 50 steps, and nothing but the entrance hall. Fascinating. What an interesting concept. What an interesting concept for a game. It's kind of like a deck builder in that you're building things. Yeah, this hasn't changed. That's the same. Yeah, we're back where we started. And interestingly, this room is identical to the way it was when I first entered. Nothing new to be found. So if we take a look, right, it's back to the whole blueprint's empty again. Really, really interesting game. All right, I'm going to call it there for today. That's going to be the first stream, the first episode of this very interesting roguelike mystery mansion builder. I don't even know what to call this, but it's very cool. The drawing room puzzle is going to bug me until I figure it out. I am definitely not going to look it up. I'm going to figure it out on my own. But I've tried a lot of different stuff, so we'll come back tomorrow and take a different look at it. Assuming we can even build it again. But maybe we'll learn something as we go through some of these other rooms and build out more of a different layout of the mansion. That'll give us some insight into how to tackle that particular challenge. But that is going to be it for today. D2, thank you so much for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this. I know this is very, very different from Monster Hunter, but hopefully you enjoyed it. To anybody else watching this in the future, thanks to you as well. I'll be back with more blueprints tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Until then, take care. See you next time. Bye.